Nothing can live, nothing can live without you. So where do you go? Behind the cosmos. If you're laying lonely, sipping radar to guide them home. Can't you see when the people
Welcome to episode 54 of the VR Gaming Podcast. You can watch us on YouTube or listen on any podcast platform. I'm Justin, mame-fan on YouTube, and I'm here with Alex, virtual insider on YouTube. And you might be hearing some music right now that sounds like Queen. I'll explain that later. But Alex, weren't you just in France? Did you just get back? What happened there?
Yeah, I'm back now. I went to France. I think we talked about it last time. I was in France just
Yeah, but
traveling.
you were about to see a sand dune, which was very exciting. So I want to hear how that went.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was actually really cold for some reason. It was really because it was next to the coast. It was really windy and cold. The sand dune was actually really impressive to see. It's really tall, and the beach.
It was
As you walk over this.
Really what?
Tall. High.
Oh, okay.
Never heard of tall?
It's probably the audio came through weird, and part of it was your accent. I just didn't get it.
High.
Tall. You said like tall. I don't know. Whatever it was.
That's how you say it. How do you say it?
Tall.
Oh.
It was tall. Like that.
Oh.
Tall.
Anyway, it was fucking high. So
okay, I get that.
And we climbed up the top.
Really?
And then you can walk up the top, but it's really hard work. And then the other side, there's like a beach, really beautiful beach with like a coastal. And then there's like little islands. Do you know where like the sand has come up? So there's like these pockets of islands, and there's people on the boats who've like gone on the boats to the islands and have set up like a little picnic and shit. Yeah, it was nice, but it was just a bit cold.
So was it hard? So is the sand shifting under your feet the whole time you're climbing up this giant mound?
Yeah, you move your foot every time you step forward. You end up like going half a step back because the sand comes down. So
Jesus,
it was hard work, but yeah, it was cool.
You were barefoot. You were both barefoot, I assume.
No, I was wearing shoes.
Oh my God, it was full of sand then by the end, right?
Yeah. I attempted to my shoes out. I just got my both to take them off. So I just wore them. It was fun.
Then what? Anything better than the sand dune?
I went to Paris.
Oh.
We went to Paris for a couple, 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, went to see the Eiffel Tower, all the Louvre and all that stuff. But they've got the Olympics going on there because the Olympics are obviously there like 2 days time. So there was just like so much roadworks, and there was where the Eiffel Tower is. Normally, like there's this big garden that you can walk around. That's right next to the Eiffel Tower. But they've literally built a stadium there. So there's a stadium where the garden was. So that they've got they're like when they're gonna. You'll see it if you won't watch the Olympics. They've got the Eiffel Towers literally like in the background of the stadium. So you couldn't go in that garden. So a lot of places were kind of closed or closed off. So it wasn't the best time of the year to go, to be honest. But I didn't realise that the Olympics was on when I booked it. So.
All right. Well, I went on a vacation too.
Oh yeah, you went to Cayman Islands.
Yeah, I went to the Grand Cayman to scuba dive. So this is a picture I took of just some dock. I was like, this reminds me of Riven. So that's why I took the picture. Riven came out when I was at Grand Cayman. I wanted to play it. I was actually thinking about it while I was there. But that's the first game I'm going to talk about. I played it once I got home. So there's just a picture of a dock. Oh, here's a funny looking fruit that I wish I actually tried to eat. But here's a key giveaway. So this fruit reminded me of a game in particular, but Alex said it reminded him of a game too. You can name either one of those games and you will get a key. You can leave a comment on YouTube, and you have to also be subscribed. and leave a comment with the answer. It could be one of two games, and you'll get a key to Another Fisherman's Tale. So there you go. Here's like the diving boat that I usually went on. I did 10 different dives when I was there. So it's a bunch of people get on this boat, and all those tanks of air will get on the boat. And for each dive, you're going to use a new tank. And so, like, I didn't take these photos. I was diving with some other people who had these giant camera apparatuses with lights all over them and shit. I was just, swimming with nothing in my hands. So I asked them to send me some of the pictures they took. So, like, here's a stingray. I saw this stingray. Here's a Caribbean reef shark. I saw a few sharks when I was there. Some fish. I don't know. Some sort of tubular coral or something. I don't know what that is. One thing I wanted to talk about with this was that, like, it doesn't actually look this colorful. When you're down there, everything looks mostly kind of like brown or greenish. It's not mostly for the most part, not very colorful. This guy had this camera apparatus with these strobe lights, and he told me that lights are what make it look so colorful. He told me he didn't modify these images. He didn't do anything to them in Photoshop. It's just the lights that show the actual color. Because when you're down there in the water diffuses the color. I mean, so like to your eyes, it doesn't look as good. And I was thinking to myself, man, when I play Subnautica and like Free Driver Triton Down and all those types of games, I was thinking it looks way better than real life. I was thinking that the whole time I was down there. And so that's the reason why the water kind of diffuses the color. The visibility isn't as good as in those games. But I did notice that the field of view in my scuba mask felt a little bit wider to me than a VR headset. Now, it's just there's a ship back there. So here's a ship called the USS Kittiwake, a Navy ship that was sunk. And we got to swim inside of it. It was really cool. And there were some really tight, cramped spaces in there where it was like claustrophobic. And I read someone on Reddit say that they lost their oxygen, like their tank disconnected or something while they were in this ship. That would be insanely scary. So then they had to like use somebody else's spare breath. The fuck's the term? I can't even remember right now. So here's some more stuff he took a picture of it where the color's way better because of his camera. And there's a moray eel. I saw this moray eel close up. The sea turtle was like, you can't tell in this picture, the sea turtle was like 5 feet long. So it was a really big ass sea turtle. And that's it for those pictures. But even though I was swimming with sharks and moray eels and barracudas and stuff, the scariest thing of all was driving a car with the steering wheel on the right. So I need to talk to you about this, Alex. Cars for us are the steering wheels are on the left, and that's what I'm used to. And also the signal, where you signal if you're turning left or right, is on the left side. Well, this isn't the car I drove. I wish it was. This is a Nissan Skyline GTR.
Yeah,
I drove some little piece of shit, some little tiny ass car, the smallest car I've ever driven. That was just a little piece of shit. I don't even remember what it was. So, yeah. But the signal was on the right. The signal shifter thing was on the right. Is that how it is for you and over there in England?
I think it depends on the car.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's. I'm sure there are some cars where it's on the left and some. I'm trying to think on my car, it's on the left or the right. Maybe it is on the right. I don't really think about it because it's just you just do it. So.
Wow. Well, see, here's what I think that's inferior to the American way. So in America, the shifter's always on the left. Well, most people are right-handed. So I always have my right hand on the steering wheel, like toward the bottom is usually where I keep my right hand. So then I have my left hand free to signal. Well, if I'm driving a car with the right hand signal, I need to take my right hand off the wheel to signal. So I found that very odd.
Oh,
I don't
Yeah,
usually
I'm just
drive. I don't drive with two hands on the wheel. Only when I turn.
actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure my signal's on the left.
Oh, it is? All right.
Thinking about it. So maybe it is just a different cars. Like I'm sure different makes models have them on different sides. So I don't think it's
Okay.
anything to do with the side of the road that you
Okay.
side of the car.
And the
I don't think
reason the wheel is on the right is that the Cayman Islands are a British territory. Like, one of the many places conquered by the British or whatever.
colonized. Yeah.
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 And so the wheel's on the right and you drive on the left side of the road. So
Yeah.
that was the hardest thing for me to do. Like, I almost got into an accident at one point.
Yeah.
So forget about sharks and being inside of swimming through confined space in a sunken boat. That doesn't scare me at all, but this driving shit, holy fuck. All right. So that's all I was going to say about that.
Well, in France they drive on the left. So
they're driving the same though. Is it this?
Oh no,
same
so they're
wheel?
right.
Oh.
Well, I was driving my car, so I went over to France in my car. So I was still
in your
driving my
car.
But they drive on the.
You drive
right.
on would they drive on the right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Their car's a left-hand drive, so it was the opposite side.
Oh, so were you all fucked up mentally?
Roundabouts were at first.
Yeah,
I don't
Cayman
know if
Island they have a lot of roundabouts there. In the U.S., we don't have those. That's a very rare thing here.
That's a British thing,
Yeah.
roundabouts. But France have got loads of them as well. So
Okay.
but because you're so used to going round a certain direction, when you go to a roundabout and it's the opposite direction,
Yeah.
it just like completely messes with your brain. But generally, I was fine, like just driving around. So
Yeah. All right. Well, luckily I didn't have to drive much. I really only drove like from the airport to the hotel and from the hotel back to the airport. That's pretty much it. All right. So I guess I'll get to the next. Do you have any questions about scuba diving or any of that shit?
no, I've been curious about the Cayman Islands though, just like what they're like. Because there's loads of small islands, isn't there, everywhere? There's different ones.
I was just on one big island. I didn't go to any other smaller islands.
Yeah. You were basically just scuba diving the entire time.
Yeah, that's all I did. Yeah. I didn't go there's like a place called Georgetown, which is like the city-ish area. I didn't even go over there because it was the other side of the island. That's like the western side of the island. I was on the eastern side of the island.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I'll get to my first game, which I already mentioned. Riven. So I did a video of it. That's what this is. So Myst came out a couple years ago, and you and I both liked it a lot, the remake, and it had VR support. So now Cyan came out with Riven, a Riven remake. And so Myst, I was looking at my Steam history. It took me 6 hours to beat it. This game took me 15 hours. And that's with me looking some shit up. I didn't do this with my brain. I think it would be very hard to beat this game just relying totally on your own brain.
Yeah.
Like I try, but then I'll get to a point where I'm just like, all right, I just want to get on with my life. And I have a problem. I can't like leave. It's hard for me to leave a game unbeaten. I just have to get it done and then move on. So I'll be like, all right, let me look up what the hell I have to do here. So at some point I'll do that. I like this game a lot. It's it's one of my favorites now. Like not one of my top favorites, but it's in the favorites group. The first thing though, when you first load the game, you'll notice it looks kind of blurry. So I found what I needed to do was put DLSS. I turned it off, and that made it less blurry. Also, I put the anti-aliasing to low. But there are people in the Steam discussions that said that they edited a file, like an INI file, where they could turn anti-aliasing totally off. And so some people preferred that. I thought it looked fine. I think the game looks great. It's in Unreal Engine 5, and I was mostly impressed everywhere I went. But the performance is kind of an issue. Like I'm using a 4090 and like a new CPU, a 7800X3D, and I was still having performance issues. But that was because I was cranking it up to ultra at first, and then I was like, all right, let me put it down to high, and then I put shadows lower, and then of course the anti-aliasing was at low. And I was like, all right, this is fine. But I was watching Zimtalk5 play it, and he said he needed to have it like pretty much most things were on low for him. So performance you're going to struggle with. But it looks very nice. And the very first puzzle in this game, I was stuck already. The very first puzzle. So that's how hard this game is. I watched our old podcast friends, Virtual Strangers. I watched Wes play this, and he got stuck at the same place, but he figured out what he needed to do. And I was like, oh, shit. It pissed me off so much because it was something I never would have even thought of. And if you're watching this video right now, I'm pointing out that the shadows. It has kind of the same issue as Firmament, where the shadows look weird.
Yeah.
So that's one problem. I don't know if that's an Unreal Engine 5 issue that they're not going to be able to fix. I'm not. Yeah. So that first puzzle was something that I was like, I didn't think it was very fair. It's something I don't think I would have had to run around and just bang my head against a wall to finally think of that, what he did. In this video, that's playing right now, if you're looking at it, there's going to be visual spoilers, but I don't think I solve a single puzzle in this video. But, there's something cool that's about to happen in the video that I thought was really cool. So maybe if you want to play the game, don't watch. So there are a lot of red herrings. Have you ever heard the term red herring?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's going to be all these things that you can interact with and like seem like I probably need to do this thing. And then it's like, actually, no, this has no importance at all. Or like sometimes the puzzles, like in the very beginning, sometimes some puzzle games where there's puzzles in the very beginning of the game and you think, oh, this must be what I have to do. When it's like, actually, no, you need to go somewhere completely different. And that shit in the beginning, you can't even, you haven't even begun to have enough knowledge to solve that puzzle yet. So it's an exploration game. You just go around, which is my favorite type of game where I love a game where there's no waypoint and this has no HUD. It's just walk around and figure shit out. Yeah. And I love that. But so I did have multiple crashes. And especially there's some vehicles that you'll ride in this. And there was a specific type of vehicle where every time the vehicle ran, I got a crash to the desktop, like some sort of fatal error type of shit. And I had to look up in their support and they said, like, disable that vehicle animation and then you wouldn't have that crash anymore. So that fixed that issue. But then if you're playing this like with AirLink or with a link cable, which I don't do, I was using Virtual Desktop. I think you had to make your XR runtime be like the Meta app. And then I think that fixes crashes for that and that setup. Because Zimtalk5, he was having the crashes when he was playing it. So he had to do that. Anyway, I recommend this a lot, but not if you have a weak PC. And you need to be patient. If you're someone who's like, you want to like be like wham bam, thank you ma'am through a game, you're probably not gonna like it. You'll spend hours in this game achieving nothing. Just walking back and forth between islands. Oh, another difference between this and Myst. So Myst, you have to use those books to go between ages often. So like one level will be this age, and then you put your hand on a book and you'll go to a new level, which is an age. And then there's another one where you go, well, this is mostly all contained all in the same islands. They're all in the same area. So you'll travel on vehicles between these islands, which I think is way cooler than just magically teleporting to a different age. There are some instances toward the end of the game where you do teleport to other ages via a book, but other than that, it's mostly all a self-contained world, which I think is much better.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No. I've tried to play some the other day, but I was having some issues where it just looked really blurry for me.
Did you mess with the anti-aliasing or DLSS?
No, but basically I've been playing with the link cable. Well, not even a link cable. It's an aftermarket cable, and I'm just not happy with it. I'm
Okay.
getting crackling issues if I turn the resolution up. So I think I messaged you the other day and said, I think I'm going to test out wireless.
Yeah.
I've got a Wi-Fi 6E
Uh-huh.
router, but I haven't set it up yet. So I
Okay.
really want to test it out and see what it's like with that versus the cable. Because the problem with the cable is that even though you can crank up the resolution, if you do, it causes problems with the audio, like crackling and cutting out all the time. So
Yeah.
I have to turn the resolution down just to stop that from happening, which means I'm running actually render resolution that's in my headset is less than I was running on my Valve Index because I can't crank the resolution up that high. So I'm noticing like aliasing more in games and stuff. I'm just not happy with how games look with the cable. So I'm gonna try and figure out how to set up the router because I've got it, but you've got to like connect it to your original router, and then you've got to have another cable that goes to your PC, and then you've got to change it to a access point, and there's a bunch of shit you have to do. So it's not straightforward, but
Yeah.
I'll get it figured out.
Okay. Yeah. So I tried.
Look,
I have the official link cable, and I tried it since I have a new computer with a good CPU, and I wasn't
yeah,
having those weird audio issues, and I wasn't having all the latency issues that I was before with that cable. But the resolution was. I just left it at default settings. The resolution was a lot lower than when I used it with virtual desktop. It looked a lot worse, and I just didn't feel like taking the time to mess with it. So I just said, fuck this. I'll just go back to virtual desktop. So I just haven't experimented with it.
yeah. I mean, and maybe the official cable's better, and it's just for some reason it seems that you'd think it'd be weird. You'd think that having a cable would be the best way, you get
Yeah.
the best resolution, but somehow it's actually the opposite. It's actually better to have a dedicated router and literally do it wirelessly. So I may as well just do that. I mean, if it's better to do it wirelessly than it is with a wire, then why would you use a wire? It just makes no sense. So.
Yeah. I'm in my Quest 3 right now, wireless. That's how I record the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it works fine for me. All right, go to your first game, Asgard's Wrath 2.
Oh yeah, I played a bit more of this.
Speaking of this, I was thinking about you and your sand dune, and I was thinking, God damn, he's probably had enough of sand dunes playing this game.
Yeah, yeah. I got to the bit with the desert and everything. It's boring as fuck. So
Exactly.
I've literally stopped playing it. To be honest, it's like the thing with this game is that the original was it had obviously repetitive combat, but the environments were really like stunning to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And you just had that real sense of adventure. You would always go into somewhere new. There's like a new area, a new character. So even though it was grindy and it was a bit repetitive, just having that feeling of wanting to see what's around the next corner and find out, what else is in the game was enough to keep me playing. But the problem with this game is that visually, it looks good for a quest game, but it still looks like a quest game. And I just haven't had after like 3 and a bit hours, I just haven't had any real wow moments that have been like. It's just like it feels like I'm playing an old game. Really, it doesn't look good enough for me to feel like I really want to keep going and exploring it because the combat is better, but it's still like grindy and repetitive. I mean, you're still ultimately just doing the same thing over and over. So without the visuals of the first game, I'm just finding my interest in playing this game, the second one, it's really low. Really, I just don't find myself wanting to play it. So maybe I'll go back to it, but I think there's plenty of other games I'd rather play instead. To be honest.
Yeah, there are definitely wow moments, but they're too few and far between.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
feels like you're gonna have to spend a lot of time like grinding and playing. Because I got to that bit where the roguelite or whatever it is, And it was I was playing that, and it was like, well, why am I playing this? Why is it making me play this? This is just so boring.
I only played that once and never again. But I've heard people like Fluke. I think he loves playing that thing, and I think he played that like maybe even more than the main game. And I have no interest in that stuff.
I mean, I don't like roguelikes anyway. So, but then the game's already got enough grind in it as it is. So I don't need to have a separate mode. It's literally just grind. So
yeah.
I think for what it is, it's really good. Like for a quest game, I do wish that they'd not made this massive effort to make it like this 60-hour plus game, because I feel like I would much rather. Why couldn't they have just made the mainline quests like similar length to the first game, but then have loads of side quests and shit that you can do as an optional thing, rather than forcing you to have to do such a long game, which is just repetitive. Like it's very similar looking environments. Yeah, it's not something that I'm not going to spend a lot of time in. But I do think if you like this sort of game, then you're going to like it. But it's just not for me, unfortunately.
And I do like this sort of game, but I still don't like it. Just because
you played the entire thing.
I played through the whole thing. And it's just too fucking long and repetitive.
Yeah.
Even though I love this type of game.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain.
It is. The first game was the same. I felt it was a little bit too long. And that was like 25 hours for me to finish that.
Yeah. Also, there are boss fights where you're going to die so many times. And maybe they've nerfed them by now. But there's some boss fights where it's like, I was about to give up on the game.
Yeah. I mean, luckily I got it free with my quest, so I didn't pay for it. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm waiting to see if Assassin's Creed gets put on PSVR 2 or something, because I want to play that, but I would like to play like the best version of it. So I'm hoping that it gets released somewhere else, but we'll see.
All right. You want to go next one?
Yep.
All right. So Blade and Sorcery got a big update with a campaign. This is another video I did. And it's the campaign's called like Crystal Hunt. So you go through this, kind of the way you get the story is as you go through these areas, you'll find like a scroll or some little book, and you can read it and read a little bit of story. It's not a story about you. It's kind of, you're reading about the people that used to be there, the villagers or whatever. Sometimes it'll be the bad guys. You're reading them talk to each other. And you start kind of at the shore. So you're near this water and you make your way into this mountainous area. In this video right here, I'm just in the house that you start out in. And there's a room where you can put in crystals that you find along the way, and the crystals allow you to get magical powers like telekinesis or shoot fire, or I don't remember what else. You can do things like, like I think in Blade and Sorcery before, couldn't you just like spin your weapon around like a helicopter by default maybe with the powers? But this is like you have to actually unlock these powers. Like you have to unlock to be able to pick up weapons and fling them at people. I don't remember. Could you do that just by default before?
I can't remember. I know you had basically all the magic in the default magic. You had it like you didn't have to unlock it or anything. So.
Yeah. Okay. So I like how it looks visually, but again, this had the same problem Blade and Sorcery had before. The AI is so stupid. It's not a challenge at all. So in this video, when I'm fighting the AI, I do this in any melee sword game. I'll stick my sword straight out and I'll just walk toward the enemies. And this is my basic test of, is this game any good? And like in most of these enemies, you can just walk right through them with your sword stuck out. You don't even have to swing it and it kills them. So here I am walking around, and I mean, it looks very nice. The water looks nice. You can even get in the water. There's a voice merchant, and you can buy stuff from him, and you can sell stuff. You can buy swords and bow and arrow and armor and all sorts of stuff. And there's a map where you pick the outpost you want to go to. If you do enough outposts and then it unlocks, then like you can go to this like harder level where you're going to fight kind of a boss. The trailer has that boss. It's that kind of big golem looking guy. You beat him, you get a crystal that'll give you, you can get more magical powers. It's a crystal hunt time. So they're saying there, you can go conquer the Digarian dungeon. So I guess I do that in this video. Here I am showing the merchant. And you can stab him and stuff, and he doesn't do anything. I think he'll bleed. I think, I'm punching him in the head there. I think he might be like, hey, stop doing that. Cut it out. I don't remember. So let me see if I can find some of this combat I was talking about. A lot of the outposts, they look the exact same. When you get to them, you're like, this looks like this is the one I already went to. But then once you get inside, you'll realize, oh, okay, the layout changed. It seems like maybe sort of procedurally generated on the inside.
Yeah, I think they've done like a procedure, because the original Dungeons update was like a procedurally generated thing, but they kind of did it in like tiles. So rather than completely generating all the environment, they'd have these sections which are all pre-done, and then it'd just like rearrange them in different orders. So you do, like, if you do these dungeon runs, you do see like the environments so like repeated a lot, just in a different order, basically. So
here I am just walking forward, and you're dead. That's how I kill most of them. They have to. I'm sure it should be easy to make the game so that if the player just walks forward with a sword, that it just kind of glances off. That's got to be an easy update.
Yeah, I mean, they can tell with the thumbstick that if you're walking forwards with the thumbstick, they know that you're not swinging the weapon. So just make the weapon really weak unless you actually swing it. I mean, or thrust it or move the weapon in some way. But I think because it's all like physics based and stuff, I don't know whether they can do that. I don't know. There's got to be a way around it. It's just something that they've obviously not. I think the problem with this game is because there's so many people that suck its dick. It basically, how do the developers really like look for critical feedback when everyone's saying how amazing it is and it's the best game ever?
Yeah.
So it ends up being like hard for the developers in a way to even know. Like, has anyone ever pointed this out to them? I don't know, but yeah.
I'm so sick of all these YouTubers saying everything is the most amazing thing ever. I don't. Are they getting paid? Like, why do they? Or do they get more views if they say that?
Yeah, it's just for views. They just want people to watch the video, so and that generally gets people to watch the video. You either have to go like super positive or really negative, and then one way or another, you're gonna get people to click on your video.
Now, climbing like Boneworks is a major issue. Climbing is not good at all. But that's because it's another one of these physics driven games. It's really hard to deal with your legs. So like, and if you're watching the video on YouTube right now, you're gonna see me struggle. I could climb this way better in real life than I could in this game.
I think you must use the jump button. Like when you get, from what I remember, you like get your arms up and then you press the jump button. Obviously, it's like magically you can kind of jump up onto the top.
I'm sure I was trying that in this video. I'm sure I was trying it.
Yeah. I struggled a lot with the climbing before, but then someone said you've got to use the jump button. It did make it a lot easier, but you're still going to end up, getting these janky moments where you can't get up a simple thing. Is just one of these games are just all like that, really. They're a bit janky.
Yeah, so here I am doing the helicopter blade, chopping this dude up. I found that I was trying to dismember people, and I wasn't able to. Whereas, like years ago, when back when Blade and Sorcery first came out, I remember. Well, it was because I used a mod. I used a mod that lets you have like easy dismemberment. So here I am trying to dismember this guy. I'm trying my best, and it just won't happen. Like I don't know. Like why would you not make the game dismember friendly?
For some reason, they made the game like Jesus Christ, that's horrible to watch. If you're not watching this video, he's literally just chopping at his neck, and there's just blood splurting everywhere. It's just very disturbing. But yeah, they've made it really hard to dismember people, which I don't understand why. Because that's really fun. One of the fun things is like chopping legs and heads off in combat, but it happens so rare because. And I read somewhere that someone said you have to like follow the blade through. You can't just hack at it. You've got to like kind of like swing the blade through as if you're going
Okay.
from one side to the other. But even with that, I still found it like very difficult to actually dismember people.
Oh yeah, and there's an inventory. I don't know if that's a new thing or if they had that before, where you pull this thing from your chest and then you have this inventory where you can see all the things you have. So that was nice. But like most doors you come to, usually that one opened. Usually, I found most of them are just like there for decoration, and you can't open any of the cabinets or anything for the most part.
Did you find it fun then, or did you? What did you think?
Only a little bit. Like just because it's fun to be a psychopath. Like you saw me being a second ago. That's fun.
Yeah.
But like I'm just gonna walk forward and this girl, okay, she's dead. You know, and it's like I don't really need to be a psychopath because I can just walk forward with my sword stuck out, and you can only like slice these people's faces so many times before it gets old.
So this new mode, how does it work? Is there like an ending to it? Can you actually finish the game now, or is it just kind of like a roguelike type?
I don't know.
Constantly just redo these procedural levels.
Let me see. I'm gonna go forward in this video. Okay, I was using a bow and arrow. There I am doing the helicopter blade. So okay, so here I am fighting this golem thing. You know, I mean, spoiler, I guess, but this is in the trailer. This thing, has different ways that it's throwing a boulder at me. This thing's definitely harder because you can't fight it normally. You have to take out the little glowing things on its body and stuff. So I end up killing it, and then I get this. It rewards me with that crystal, but then from that point, I didn't know. Well, what do I do now? It didn't like. Where am I supposed to go? It wasn't clear. Like, so I just exited. I went into the menu and went like, go back home, and then once I got home, I think the crystal wasn't in my inventory. So I think the game was just like, okay, he's just quitting. So maybe once you've gotten all the crystals, however that works, maybe I was supposed to go all the way back through the way I came and go back to the boat where I landed in the beginning. I don't know. But yeah, maybe once you get all the crystals, you beat the game. I have no idea. So let me see if I can. Okay, I'm still fighting him. This fight took a while. Okay, there we go. I got this. Looks like I got that. He's dead. I got the crystal, and then I'm like, I'm just wandering around, going, all right. I think I stuck the crystal in this thing. Maybe that's what I did. This prismatic crystal. And then you pick what type of magic you want to so there's gravity magic. Or you can like force people backward.
Yeah.
And then there's lightning. And I guess you just pick. I don't know if once you've acquired all the magic, maybe there's a set number of outposts and a max number of these special ones with these golem-like guys. I don't think there's anything beyond the golems.
I think I've heard that that's the only boss fight so far. I'm not sure if they're planning on doing more updates because obviously it's now like the official 1.0 release, but it would be nice obviously if they had more. I think the main thing that this game needs is like enemy variety because at the moment it's literally just humans. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of them have got a shield or something, but like you say, they're all even like unless they've got armor or something. Then I think making enemies like the golem type enemy where you can't just walk up to them and beat them to death. You've got to like be a bit more strategic. They've got weak points or something. I think that's the way to make the gameplay more interesting, rather than just the same human enemies over and over again.
Yeah. So I picked fire, and then it did that fire thing you just saw, and then I stood here going, all right, what do I do now? So if anybody knows, let me know. I mean, I'll go back into the game as long as I know how the hell I can keep the thing I just fought for.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it for that one. Do you want to go to Madison?
Yeah, we could go to Madison VR.
All right. We're doing another one of my videos.
Yeah. Yeah, let's check this out, because you said last month you said it was basically more like a puzzle game than a horror game, which made me more interested in it. So yeah, I jumped into it, and I will say it looks good. Like, it feels that one of the things I've had lately is that every VR made for VR game, it just feels like it's a quest game, even on PC.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, sometimes I want to play a game that's like, got really high production values, it's got good graphics and everything. So it was nice to jump into this and to have it look really nice and it feels like, a high quality game, like visually. Got a story, it's got voice acting and stuff. So
were you reminded of Resident Evil 7?
Yeah, I think it's got that kind of dilapidated feeling to it, like where you're in some sort of building and everything's a bit run down, and yeah, it's got that vibe to it. It's definitely, like you say, it's quite jump scare heavy.
Yeah,
but I didn't find it scary because they're just so predictable. Like, you could just see them coming a mile away, so I didn't find it scary for that reason, really.
Yeah.
I just found it just like, oh, it's another jump scare. I think jump scares are just one of those things that really need to like be more selective of, rather than just trying to have, oh, this door just closed and there was a noise. It's like, it's not scary, really.
Yeah, maybe it works on kids.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I think the atmosphere overall, because it's like a story where you're this guy who wakes up in this room and there's someone at the other side of the door who's trying to get to you, and it turns out that maybe, like, I don't know obviously the full answer to it, but I never finished the game, but it's kind of like you're maybe possessed or something, and then you listen to these tapes which are talking about the situation and talking about this possession and what things are going to happen, and you've got to get this thing out of you to destroy it and stuff. So that side of things really interested me, actually. Just like the general story definitely made me feel like I wanted to play more of it. I think the main problem is like what you mentioned, where it's a puzzle game, but it just feels really obtuse. Like,
Oh, definitely.
I just felt so much frustration because I didn't know what the game wanted me to do. So I ended up like walking around, poking and pressing everything, getting my camera out, taking photographs of everything, and it didn't feel like just really solving a puzzle. It feels more like you're just fumbling your way through it, trying to figure out what the game wants you to do, because what the game wants you to do doesn't always make sense. It can just be a random thing where you've just got to take a photograph of this thing, and obviously, how are you supposed to know that without literally walking around with your camera, constantly photographing everything? What
I had to do was I had to look it up. That's how I got through a lot of that crap.
Yeah, I got through a couple of hours and then I just got stuck where I didn't know what to do. I found this red door. There was like a red door down in this basement, and because you're in this apartment.
You didn't get to see what's probably the scariest part of the game. What's behind the red door is the scariest part of the game.
I think that's the bit you mentioned where you have to you're in the dark and you have to take photographs.
Yeah, you're in the dark in this like water.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get that far because it's another one. It's like you're in this apartment or building or whatever you're in, and it seems like you can basically just. Sometimes you might have to go back to where you've come from, but it's obviously not very obvious because there's things in rooms where like clocks and things, but you can't do anything with them yet. So they're definitely going to have to kind of like go back and forth, which is fine. But then it's so like because there's so many things spread apart, and because the puzzles themselves feel so obtuse, you can end up just feeling like you're wandering around, having no clue where you're supposed to be, what room you need to be, where you need to go.
Yeah, they give you access to so much stuff from the beginning that you have no clue which matters.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's not bad, but I just found the puzzles was just kind of ruining the game for me. In a way, I wish I could kind of like go through it more like. It's the opposite really because the reason I played it is because it was a puzzle game. But now I've played it, I feel like almost like I don't want it to be a puzzle game because the puzzles are so shit. I kind of want to play through it more like a story-driven kind of just general horror game where you're just going through and stuff's happening. But yeah, maybe I'll come back to it when I've got nothing else to play. But at the moment, if you like puzzle games, I think it could be worth a try. If you like horror games, I think it could be worth a try. But if it sounds like something that's going to frustrate you, it feels almost like those point and click adventure games where you're just walking around, clicking on everything just to try and figure out what the game wants you to interact with.
Yeah,
and I hate that sort of shit.
Well, you wouldn't want to play the game that I will talk about next, probably. But what I wanted to ask was the inventory. So when you go to when you find a new item, do you still get frozen until you put it in your inventory and then take it back out?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you can't move until you put it in your inventory, and then you have to pick it back up.
Why haven't they fixed that yet?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense. Okay.
Seems like a thing, yeah.
All right, want me to go to the next one?
Yeah, there's nothing else to say. You said it all last month anyway.
Okay. Retropolis 2, Never Say Goodbye. This is Upload VR's video. I think they end up showing some Myst stuff here, so let me get past that, where they're like comparing it to Myst and Abduction. Because it's a point and click game, like the one you said where you have to click on everything and you don't want to play that. So let me get past this stuff. Here you go. So I like the original Retropolis. The Secret of Retropolis was the original. And this is, it's a seated point and click game where you just look around 360 degrees and you're going to click on so many things and find out which can I interact with, which can I not. And there are like NPCs that you talk to and they give you stuff. And a lot of times they're part of the puzzle. And the story is really good. It has a really good story, has really good voice acting. And I was playing it like every night. It took me 4.5 hours to beat it. The original, right here, they're showing the original. That's what you're seeing, Secret of Retropolis. The original only took me an hour, but this one took me 4.5 hours. And I liked it. It was on sales, and I think because I had the original, it was like more of a discount, so it was a good deal. I think maybe it's $20 when it's not on sale. So I don't know. I feel like it's a little high, but I don't know. They keep showing the original, which the graphics are better in the newer one. Okay, so now we're showing the newer one. So you're like this ex-cop who's now like kind of like a freelance detective, and you're investigating a murder. And there's this new bad guy, the magician, that has appeared, and he's kidnapped this female actress robot named Jenny Montage, and you have to figure out what's going on with that. And you just go from different scene to scene. Sometimes you have to combine items to make something happen. Sometimes you have to trick, an NPC into, trick them by convincing them they need to go over there and do something, and then that'll allow you to mess with something that they were blocking, that type of thing. I liked it a lot. Yeah, like I said, I was playing it every night. Like after my kid would go to sleep, I'd come downstairs and I'd play. And I had other games I could play, like AAA games I could play in VR with VR mods, and I was like, nah, I want to play Retropolis 2. But I don't think you would want to, based
If it's
on
a point and click
yeah,
thing, like I didn't finish the first one because it just really. It was the same thing where I got stuck and I was just literally like, because you kind of have this laser pointer and you can just click on things. So
yeah.
I was just like sweeping the entire thing, just clicking on everything, just trying to figure out what it wanted me to do. And I really don't like that sort of thing.
I got stuck on the first puzzle in this game, so it has a button that says walkthrough. So you click it and it opens a website. You can go to the website and like it gives a solution to everything. I wish it would just give hints. I left a comment on
Yeah,
the Steam discussions. Just give me a hint.
yeah,
Like I don't want to know the solution. So that's how
yeah.
sorry, what were you gonna say?
Every puzzle game should have some sort of hint system that gives you some sort of direction. Like just a general push in the right direction can be enough to
Yeah.
get you to figure it out.
Yeah, Tin Hearts had hints, which I appreciated. It didn't, it wasn't total telling you exactly what you need to do. It would just be like a picture to give you an idea. So yeah, in this one, in the first puzzle, like it was just like I had to combine two things that I didn't think I could combine them. So, things like that. Just like you don't really know how the game works yet. So maybe they should give you just for the first puzzle, maybe give people some sort of hint. If they're sitting there for 10 minutes, maybe the game could just be like, "Hey, you should do this." I don't know.
Yeah,
But I liked it a lot. So I recommend it.
good. I feel like it's a game that's gone under the radar really because it's not got many reviews and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think if you like point and click adventure games, and if you played the first one and enjoyed it, you should definitely look at the second one, especially if it's like 3 times as long or something.
Yeah. And yeah, the puzzles they're not too hard, not too easy. I like the level of the puzzles for the most part. All right, so now
You say it's better than the first game, then?
yeah, it's better than the first one. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, so we'll go. I'm going to give away another key. Arizona Sunshine Deluxe Edition. I don't know who wouldn't already have this. Maybe people have Arizona Sunshine, but not the Deluxe. All right, so the key is M7RLF KC6MT0ABM9. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that visually. But if you're just on the podcast, you need me to speak it out. And I don't know. Let us know if you got it. You can let us know on YouTube. And I'll go to EA Sports WRC.
Yeah.
This is Gamertag's
It's just-
video.
Yeah. What did he say about it? Did you listen to
I
his
didn't.
comment?
I just downloaded the video. I didn't listen. This is
Yeah,
like a beta impressions video, so I guess it's probably old.
Yeah, I really like Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2. Like, it's some of my favorite racing games ever.
Mm-hmm.
So when this got VR support, I really, really was looking forward to playing it. And the gameplay is great. Like, it feels great to play. The problem is that because they've moved to Unreal Engine, it's like really blurry. And
Is it 5?
it's another one of I can't know if it's 4 or 5, maybe.
Okay.
But it's the same thing where it's got DLLS and stuff you can turn on and off, and I've tried a few different options, and it's just not as clear as I want it to be. Like Dirt Rally 2 looks way better because it's not using temporal anti-aliasing. It's it just looks really good. So I'm really looking forward to trying out this Wi-Fi 6E, see if I can help with that. Because I really want to play the game. Like I absolutely love racing games, and I love Dirt Rally 2. And this game's got so much content. Like they've got Dirt Rally has like 6 countries, 2 stages per country, whereas this has got all 13, I think 13 or 14 countries from the actual real World Rally Championship plus multiple stages. So you've got like more than double the content of the original, like the old Dirt Rally 2. And the way the cars drive is great and everything. So I really want to put some time into this, and I'll talk about it next month when I've put some time into it. Just to try and play with the settings, and I'm going to obviously give my impressions of the Wi-Fi, the wireless over link and everything. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just finding it's a bit too blurry for me to enjoy. So hopefully I can get it working right.
Are you going to be able to put that router near your computer?
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
thing about where I am. Like everything, like the main router and this it'll all be in the same room, like
All right,
together, pretty
Okay.
close. So I'll be able to get like the best setup with it.
Okay. All right.
I tried using my index actually. I said last month I was going back to my index, which
Can I
was
tell
the
you my
original
prediction?
plan.
My prediction was you're going to be disgusted.
No,
Oh,
the problem was that I'm currently at my girlfriend's, and she's got like a billion mirrors all over the
Oh
fucking house. So
yeah, the mirrors.
yeah, I tried it, and it was just like the tracking was going haywire. But yeah, I mean, it looks obviously not good like sharpness wise, but I think I probably would have just stuck with the index if I could have done. But
Oh.
I would have to cover up every mirror or take all the mirrors down just to use it every time. And
God, I remember all
yeah,
the forum posts from back then when everybody was talking about mirrors and windows and anything reflective, and that was annoying.
yeah, it's a problem definitely.
Yeah.
Like the inside out tracking might be not as accurate, but at least it doesn't have issues like where you've got mirrors and stuff causing tracking issues. You've got to be in like a completely empty room almost with the laser.
When I had a Vive, I was going around my room, even all the hinges and doorknobs, I was covering them with like masking tape.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
not. It's like when it works, it's great, but it can be a real pain in the ass if you've not got a perfect room to like set it up for.
Yeah. All right. So I'll go to the next one. Ghost Signal, a Stellaris game. I only played this once. I didn't realize until I played it. It's a roguelike. So so you control a little starship, but the problem is you don't control it directly. Like it's not like you just move it with your left analog stick. You have to like tell it where to go, and then it kind of slowly flies over there. And I don't know. I'm not. And also, like while you're in the middle of combat, you'll be like, "Go over there," and then the ship flies over there, and you'll press. There's like a regular fire button, and rockets, and then a laser. And like depending on the type of ship that you're trying to hit, you might change between laser to a rocket to the main fire, and then you'll see asteroids along the way that you can mine. So you'll use this little scanner on your left hand. You can kind of like a flashlight, you point at the asteroids, and some of the asteroids will kind of have a glow to them, and that that one I should shoot. But you can't like aim the way you normally would in most games. You're not able to make your ship point in different directions. You use your right hand and you move your right hand around, and then that selects kind of different asteroids. So it like kind of like highlights them, puts a reticle on them. And then you'll press the fire button, and then the asteroid will explode, and then you'll get like little bits that will let you craft with, or maybe money. So like this is a game where you're supposed to like a roguelike where you keep going through and getting more money and getting more upgrades and buying stuff. I was in the beginning I was like, this seems too easy. Then I think they probably intentionally got me to a level where it was just like the enemies wouldn't stop coming. They just completely overwhelmed me, and I died. And then your friendly little sidekick guy, that's kind of when he was like, like sort of like, oh, it's not over. We need to go back in, and blah blah blah. It was like, oh, it's one of these roguelike things where now we're gonna go back in stronger. So I've heard a lot of people say they love this game. I'm not too. I'm not. I don't think I want to go back into it. I think the main reason is you don't have direct control over the ship. I don't know why I feel like I need that.
Yeah, I think it feels. I mean, I've not played it, but it looks like a kind of a mix. It's like a real time, almost strategy game in a way where you're
Sort
kind of
of.
like commanding stuff.
Yeah, sort of. But you have more control over it than some real time strategy games. And the presentation is nice. It's very polished. And there are little scenes in between, or like when a merchant type guy is talking to you, it looks really cool and like 3D. And this trailer looks a lot better than anything I encountered because they're showing these cool looking right here, this giant alien creature thing. I didn't get to fight anything like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it gets better. It's just not my type of. I never got into real time strategy games or anything like in that vein.
Not me neither.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have anything else. I played it. Yeah, it's on Quest and Steam. It's probably on PSVR too. It was on sale. I got a lot of games on sale this month. What were you saying?
Yeah, it's a port of a non-VR game, so it's like good.
Okay.
Like seems like it's a good quality game, and like the reviews are strong. So I think if you like this sort of game, then it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, don't take my word for it. Yeah. All right, so we'll go to On Garde UEVR.
Well, do you want to maybe save the UVR stuff to the end, or do you want to like just go back and forth? It's up to you.
Well, your only games left are UEVR. So
but you've got some as well.
Oh.
We could maybe. How many more have you got? You've got one.
I have. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Okay. You want me to do my non-UEVR? Zombieland.
We'll just save it all to the end. Yeah.
Okay. Zombieland Headshot Fever. This was one of those ones, so you could get it on Quest for 90% off. So I bought that, but then I saw on Steam they had it super cheap, like maybe the same price as the Quest one. I don't know. It was really cheap, and I was like, all right, I'll just get it there too. I played it once. I could see the appeal. It's very arcadey. You can't control your character's locomotion. Like it's just you look, and then you go there. Is how it works. You basically just have to shoot them in the head twice. Bop 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 bop. Just it's just like you want to be as accurate and as fast as you can. A cool thing about it is there's leaderboards, global leaderboards, and there's also friend leaderboards. So I could see how I compared to like, Paradise Decay and Fluke and whoever else is my friend on Steam. And I only played it once. It on sale seems okay. I think a lot of people have said they like this game. One thing I noticed was that there was this shading issue where I would see this shadow in my left eye, but not my right eye. And then I went to discussions and I saw people that even had, like Vive Pro headsets. They were complaining about the same issue. So I'm like, when a made for VR game has that type of issue, what the hell are you doing? I understand when it's a mod, like UEVR has lots of that type of shit because the games weren't made for VR, but like, how do you not get that right in a made for VR game?
Yeah.
So it was especially on the faces of these characters. So like, they have Woody Harrelson's character and whoever those other characters in these Zombieland movies are. Their faces had these weird shader issues where it wasn't in one eye, but it was in the other, and it just looks weird. I don't remember if the environments had that issue, but I don't know. It's just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
You never played this, did you?
No. It's basically just you stand in one spot, shoot a load of zombies, move to another spot, shoot a load of zombies. So
yeah,
didn't seem like something I wanted to play.
Okay, so I'll go to the next one. Stalker, another one this one was like 90% off. It was, I don't know, $1.99 or something. I had heard good things about this, but I wasn't impressed. The graphics, this trailer, the graphics look better than it looked in the headset. Yeah, the graphics weren't good. It seemed very kind of. It seemed like this was like more like something from 2017, 2018 or something. It has co-op at least, so you can play with somebody else. I don't know how many people.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and you can. So you go through climbing these stalks and you kill enemies and you collect like feathers and mushrooms and wood and metal and spider webs, and then you can craft them to make better weapons. Craft in your little shop. My big issue with this was the climbing. So you have these climbing hooks on your left and right hip, and you use grip to hold them, and then you have to. I don't know. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Let me see. Then you have to press trigger to make the dagger things, the hook things, stick out. If you let go of trigger, they retract, and you can't. But you would think you just have the daggers out, and then you just go right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand, right. Like that's how it was. Like for example, the National Geographic quest game when you're doing the ice climbing. Well, actually, no. I was confused as hell about this. You have to press the trigger every single time you swing. Like so I would be holding these with grip, and then I would go trigger, swing, trigger, swing, trigger, swing, trigger, swing, trigger. I don't know why they have the controls that way, but I just decided, all right, I don't have the patience to sit here because you can see how much you have to climb. I was just like, I'm not doing this. So that was my big criticism of it. I talked to someone else who said that didn't bother him at all. So maybe I'm just easily annoyed.
Definitely.
That is true. That is true. So, I mean, it was only $1.99, so I'm not going to refund it.
Yeah.
So, that's all I'd say about that. Now we'll go to Blair Witch VR. This was on sale for like $3.50. And you already have it, I think. But
yeah, I played this actually. Yeah.
So I really liked the forest environment and the forest sounds, the birds and everything. I thought that was really cool. But this had that same issue as Zombieland. This is a made for VR game where in one eye, for example, if you're looking at a rock, in one eye it's shaded totally different than the other eye. And I went into the Steam discussions, and people were complaining about it there too. And it's not a quest thing, or it's not a streaming thing. It's just how the game is. And this is another movie-based game where they couldn't get the shading right. I don't know if it's an ambient occlusion thing or what.
I don't remember that for some reason, but
oh really?
It's been a while since I played it.
Okay. Well, so. Other than that, I really like the environment and everything. I didn't find it scary at all. But I got to a part where it was in nighttime, and you found a camcorder on the ground.
Yeah.
And it said you had to do something with the camcorder. And I just kept walking, and then it kept repeating. Do you remember getting to that part? Like there was a tent.
I got quite far in it.
Okay, there was a tent on the right, and I would just keep walking through a trail, and then eventually the tent would be there on the right again. It was the same campground, and I couldn't figure out what they wanted me to do. Something to do with the camcorder, but you
get the camcorder. You have to put a tape in there, and then you can rewind time. Like if you rewind the actual tape on the camcorder, it will change things in real life. So
okay.
You kind of have to watch the video on your camcorder and then figure out what location it's at, and then you can then rewind. And if you look in real life, you'll see things changing in real life, what's happening on the camcorder, which will then let you progress in the game. It's actually quite a cool mechanic. And I found that the camcorder was really cool, like holding it up and looking down into the little screen, and then the way that it affects real world. I thought it was quite a cool mechanic, actually.
Okay, I'll go back into it and try again. I only tried it once, so
yeah, it's pretty good. It was blurry though. It was another one of those games that's a bit blurry. I don't know if you found that.
It had a resolution slider in the options, and I put it all the way up. I think 150 was the max, and I felt like it didn't look blurry to me.
Maybe that's
I
what.
never tried it at default. I just
Yeah,
that's what I
it looks
usually
okay.
max up everything before I even go into a game.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a powerful PC now as well. Because I played
Yeah.
this a while ago when I still had. I don't even know if I had my 3080 back then. I don't know. But yeah, it's a good. I mean, it's another port of a non-VR game,
Mhm.
and I think it's pretty good. It's not a horror game. It's like a. I mean, I guess it is a horror game, but I didn't find it scary. It's more like psychological horror, I guess. But I think it's good. I think it's worth playing.
Yeah, there was a part where my character started panicking, and then like the dog had to get close to me for my character to stop panicking
Yeah,
because he was, I don't know, freaking out.
yeah.
It's got,
You should definitely play more of it because it does get like quite interesting, and I really like the mechanic with the camcorder as well. So I recommend putting more time into it.
this is one of these games. So I use virtual desktop, and usually I start games from the virtual desktop interface, but this is a game where I think I had to start it from within Steam VR for it to work properly. So there's some games like that, and then sometimes I even have to change in virtual desktop, like change to make sure it's set on Steam VR, or else games won't work right. So this might have been one of those. Usually that's not an
Yeah.
issue, but I don't know. All right, so then here's a weird demo called Minimally Invasive. This is a free demo on Steam. This looks low res because there was no trailer on YouTube. I just had to download the Steam trailer, which the Steam trailers are low res. And so this reminds me a little bit of Outer Wilds because you start out controlling this ship, then you're investigating this alien world, and you have a jetpack. When the jetpack feels like the Outer Wilds jetpack, I guess it's not an alien world. I guess you're inside some sort of creature because it's
Right.
very biological, and the controls are so weird. So it's like you're Doctor Octopus. Like you have these tentacle arms that come out on the left and right, and you can control those. So you have to hold grip, then they'll stick out. Then you press A, hold down A on or the bottom button on both controllers, and then once you are holding that down, you're controlling them with your arm movements. Like it mimics your arm movements, but then you have to press also trigger to make to use the item. Like right there, they were using a laser. Then you can get a scalpel, and you can get a drill. You can get a claw gripper. So the controls were very hard to get to grips with, but I still found it was very interesting. But I got to a point where I got stuck, and I didn't know what I needed to do.
There's a demo. You say it's not
Yeah,
the full game.
it's a demo. I wouldn't say it's good, but I would say it's interesting.
Yeah, it looks
And
interesting actually.
yeah, and it's just trying to control these arms and make them and use them correctly is like really stretched my brain. If you want to, tax your brain a little bit.
I think it looks cool. I'm interested in it.
Okay. And I'm done with made for VR games. Now all we have is VR mod stuff. So you want to go to on Garde?
Yeah, we can talk
All
about
right.
that first. Yeah,
All right.
because we had the big was it summer sale? So I think you bought a few stuff. I bought a bunch of stuff, and like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the games that I'm jumping into just don't feel like they're a bit low quality and they're a bit questy.
Mm-hmm.
I was really craving like some really like full length polished games. So then when the sale came up, I was like, let's try buy some games and play with Unreal Engine VR, which I have to say, these are the games I've enjoyed the most because I feel like this episode's probably a bit negative on my side, but these are the games that I've really enjoyed. So I'll be positive about these. But yeah, first one is Asgard, which is like this cool hack and slash type third person game. I just played it with a gamepad in third person. I didn't try and like make it to a VR game or anything. And yeah, you jump around, you have fights with people, you can like kick objects in the environment at people and use the environment to your advantage in fights. And I just found it's a really fun game, looks really pretty. The combat's pretty satisfying. I've heard it's only about 6 hours or something long, so it's not really a long game. But I bought it on a sale for like £6 or something. It was really cheap. And yeah, it's definitely one. If you like third person like hack and slash games, I definitely recommend giving this a try. It's got like what's that Three Musketeers type look to it. You know, like the sort of time period where you've got like this cape and you're walking through very colourful environments, and it's a cool game. I really enjoyed it. I've not finished it yet, but I recommend it. It works really well with the Unreal Engine VR. It's I think you had to turn something off. You have to turn in the settings, in the graphic settings, you have to turn global illumination off. Otherwise, it looks really weird. But once you turn that off, everything works fine. You don't have to really mess with a lot of stuff.
In the game itself or in the mod?
In the game itself,
Okay.
just in the game settings, turn I think it's GI or global illumination. It's under. Just turn that off completely. Otherwise, like it looks really weird in the headset.
Okay. Any shader issues that look weird?
Not that I noticed. Maybe the other little bit, but I feel like I get used to it to the point where I don't notice stuff like that anymore. Whereas I think
I get really bothered by that stuff.
Yeah. I just yeah. Go on.
Can you lock on to people? Is that how you do it? Like, do you like press like left trigger or something, then she locks on to the guy?
I think yeah, she kind of auto locks onto the nearest one, but you can
Okay.
use the thumbstick to kind of switch the lock if you want to.
Okay.
Or you can kind of just run away. If you've got a lot of enemies, you can just run away sometimes. Yeah, the combat's like it's not like Dark Souls or anything. It's not really really hard. It's like a fun. Still got a good challenge to it, but it's not like a really really hard game like Dark Souls or anything like that. It's just a bit more of a casual kind of adventure hack and slash game.
Okay. All right. Do you want to go to the next one? The next one is A Tale of Paper.
You want to do one of your UEVR ones and alternate them?
See, the problem is me finding it in this giant list of
We'll just go to the next one then. Just go to the next one.
The next one
which
in
is
my list is you. A Tale of Paper.
There you go. Let's do that. Yeah, A Tale of Paper it's I would say it's a cross between Little Nightmares and Unravel. If you know either of those games,
Yeah.
It's a side scroller, like a 3D side scroller where you can kind of like move in the environment. You don't just walk in sideways. You can walk like forwards and backwards a little bit as well, which works really well in VR because it just feels like you're kind of like looking into this little diorama and you've got this little character that's walking around, a bit like Moss in a way, I guess. And yeah, you're playing as this little piece of paper like that's alive, and it's got like a little
Antenna.
glowing eyes and little antennas. Yeah, but you can kind of like get abilities where you get like there's one where you can turn yourself into a paper frog, and then you can jump really high. And there's one where you can turn yourself into a paper ball where you can like roll through these tubes. So it's quite cool. It's not the controls don't feel as polished as both of those games, like Unravel and Little Nightmares are both better games, like more polished and feel better to play. But I think I bought it for really cheap, like £3 or something. If it's something that you kind of like those sort of games, then I think it's worth picking up for that price because it's still quite a fun little adventure game. Yeah, I like these sort of games. It's fun.
What's the deal with those antennas that are glowing?
I don't know. I think that maybe that's why. I think that maybe that's like his powers, like how he transforms or something. I don't know, but
Okay.
I'm not really been shown or explained yet.
Okay.
What anything about it? It's one of those games where they've got like no story in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just play through the game, and I guess maybe you've got to like figure things out for yourself. A bit like
Yeah.
Limbo and Inside and that sort of game.
Yeah. All right. Next one, American Arcadia UEVR.
Yeah, this one's my favorite out of the lot I played. This is another another side scroller. I did buy some games to play like with first person motion controls, but I just haven't got around to trying those out, like Trepang 2 and things like that. But this is another side scroller where this is more straightforward side scroller, so you literally just walk left to right. You haven't got like a 3D space. Obviously, all the environments are 3D, so you can still like look around. It works perfectly. The only thing I did was just bring the camera a bit further in because I felt
Mhm.
like you were quite far back. You could see like some of the environment, like some of the side environments which you shouldn't be able to see. So I just adjusted the camera forward a bit. But other than that, it works perfectly. And there's also first-person parts as well, where you like take control of this other character, and you have to walk around and do stuff first person. So you have to then reset your camera back to original position for those. But generally, it works great. Like, there's no real issues visually or anything. But yeah, it's like I don't know how much I should say on the story without spoiling it, but you play as this guy in this place called Arcadia, obviously, and you're trying to. You're just a regular guy working a regular job in an office, doing processing or something, and then something happens where this woman starts talking to you, and then it turns out that you're actually. It's kind of like the Truman Show,
Mhm.
where you're basically in a TV series, like a TV show, and everyone's watching you, but it's not just you. Like everyone who lives in Arcadia is being watched by people on the outside, and no one actually realizes that they think that they're actually just a normal person, but really they've like in Arcadia as a thing for this TV show, which is like a ultra reality TV show kind of thing. And yeah,
That's a
you
lot
kind
of
of.
different. So a lot of different channels or a lot of different shows. If every person is one.
Well, I think basically the way that they describe it, people can choose who they want to watch. So like
Mhm.
you've got all these people, and people can choose like I want to watch to see what this person's doing and that person's doing. But if
Mhm.
you're not performing well enough and you're kind of like no one's interested in you anymore,
Mhm.
then they basically just get rid of you. They basically kill you.
Oh, they kill you.
Yeah,
That's all right.
yeah, yeah.
So like
So
a
they
car might come and run you over, and that was planned.
no, they'll say, "Oh, you've won a holiday." It's like what's that
Oh,
thing? What's that film? Um, The Island. Remember that?
never saw
Where
it.
you've never seen it? Like
No.
in The Island, it's got Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor in it, and they
Mhm.
basically. I mean, I'm spoiling this film if anyone's not seen it, but basically, there are all these people in like this utopian like environment, and it turns out that they're clones of these really rich people that might be athletes or models and stuff, and they're literally being kept there to be used as like if something happens to the rich people, and you've
Mhm.
got like the perfect donor so that you can have your heart transplant or whatever because they're identical to you. But the people that are in this facility don't know that. They just think they're just a normal person, just in this like living in this place.
Yeah.
But then what they do is when someone's going into surgery to have like a heart ripped out or something,
Mhm.
they'll say, "Oh, you've won the lottery. You're gonna go to Fiji," and like they'll everyone's like, "Oh my god, you finally did it!" And they're really excited. But it turns out they're literally taking you out and they're going to kill you to give you don't your organs to this person who is exactly the same as you, just a not
But
clone.
wouldn't everyone
It's,
catch on every time somebody gets on this holiday or whatever that they don't come back?
well, that's the thing. They're not going on a holiday. They're kind of like they're going to live there. Then you're going to live in
Oh,
Fiji.
they're going to live there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not. I said holiday, but it's not. It's more like you're going to live in Fiji. So then everyone's excited when that comes up because they want them to be them, not
Mhm.
realizing that they're going to get killed. It's kind of like that where people who live in Arcadia will be told that they've won this vacation or whatever
Mhm.
thing, and then they'll just like disappear, and really they've killed them. So, yeah,
This seems like it's more about the story because the gameplay looks boring to me.
it is very story driven.
Mhm.
It's got light puzzles, so like you'll have to move a box to turn on, or you've got this woman who's talking to you, and you can control. You can sometimes flick to her, so that you're controlling like CCTV cameras, and you can override certain things that open doors or move something in the environment. So you kind of switch in between the two, and then you'll have to kind of like run, and sometimes you'll have like timed events where you've got to like go across a crane, and you've got to move the crane around to the other side while someone's trying to chase you. And yeah, I mean, the gameplay is definitely not the reason to play this. It's more
Mhm.
for the story and everything. And the story is really good. Like, it's definitely my favorite game out of the three UEVR games. It really got me interested, and I want to keep playing it.
So, did you turn up the world scale on this? It kind of seems like maybe that would be a good game for that.
I have played with the world scale, but I ended up just settling on just the general world scale actually. But yeah, because the problem is when you flick to first person, if you've changed all the shit,
Mhm.
then you've got to change it back, because otherwise everything looks weird. So
Okay.
I ended up just moving the camera forward a bit, and then I could just quickly reset it if I was in a first person section.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a great game though. I really recommend this game if you like games like Inside or Little Nightmares, or just anything that's kind of like story driven side scroller. That's less about the platforming and more about just the story and the general gameplay. I think this is definitely one to pick up.
Okay. Since you did UEVR, I will continue with UEVR. So, Fluke did a video on the Recentered channel, Recentered VR podcast channel. So I'm using his video without his permission, but I'm sure he's okay with that. Go to the Recentered podcast, YouTube channel and subscribe to them. So I didn't know about this game called Air Twister until his video. You can, if you've ever played Space Harrier, you can tell this is very Space Harrier inspired. And the producer of this game is the guy that made Space Harrier for in the arcades. So Yu Suzuki, he did Outrun, Space Harrier, Afterburner, Power Drift, Hang On, tons of Sega classics. He did Virtua Fighter, Virtua Racing, all sorts of shit. So this came out on like Apple Arcade or something, and then it's come to Steam. So like visually, I think it's really cool. Oh yeah, the intro music to this podcast was the title screen music of this game, which I think maybe one of the most interesting things about this game is the music, because it's so out there, but it's also obviously very Queen inspired. It's some Dutch guy named Valencia, and he made a soundtrack specifically for this game. And the whole time I was playing, I was like, wow, this music is so weird. Like, it's like catchy. I kind of liked it, but it's also really weird, but it doesn't really fit the game at all.
Right.
The gameplay is okay. I think it's too slow. Like, Space Harrier is way faster. You can see how slowly you're moving forward, whereas in Space Harrier, it feels like you're like sprinting the whole time forward. I got to level 4 or 5, and it seemed really easy. It was pretty fun, kind of weird, very Japanese weird cutscenes, and there's some like black bars that you'll see when you're playing it in VR during the cutscenes.
Yeah.
That that you wouldn't I guess you wouldn't really notice them if you were playing it just flat. And
Usually get rid of stuff like that with like an any tweak or something, but
you can. Oh,
can't
okay.
remember. Yeah, I'd have to find out how to do it. But there are ways to get rid of like the black bars.
Yeah, this
some of
was
these games.
this was on sale. Then the next game I played with UEVR, Scars Above. This was on sale. I played this third person. Maybe I think you.
Where did you buy this?
Yeah, I bought this also because it was so cheap.
Yeah, I bought it as well. I haven't played it yet though.
And I played it a little bit. I mean, it's. I just it was like it's okay. Well, I would rather play this more than like Deliver Us Mars or Deliver Us the Moon, based on what those felt like.
Yeah.
In the beginning, this feels like one of those games. You're just running around here and you're just collecting some. Go here and talk to this guy, then go here and get this piece, and then. But then there's some like combat. You get on this alien planet and you get to do some combat here and stuff. I was like, all right, but that's kind of where I quit. Yeah, it's okay. So yeah, here you're like knocking away vines, and you have a gun, and now you're gonna start fighting these little alien creatures and stuff. And I saw that a waifu enjoyer had a first person like 6-stop video, so you could do that with this. So I'm sure there's a profile on the Discord or wherever.
There is a profile for it, yeah. So if you wanted to try it first person, there's a profile in the Discord which you can try. I've not tried it yet myself because I'm torn between whether I want to play it first person or whether I'm just gonna go with it third person. I don't know. I'll decide.
I think I'm less into third person games. Like I can't get as interested in them for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So maybe
there's definitely profiles for it. So it could be worth trying the first person one.
All right, now here's a game I played where I definitely want to go back into it. Phantom Abyss. This is a first person game. I didn't use a profile or anything. I just loaded it up and went. And I liked it a lot. It's kind of like you're doing it's like speedrun type thing through a temple. And it's fast. And it probably would give some people motion sickness because he does rolls in this game, and like the camera actually rolls with it. I like shit like that. You have a whip, and you can use the whip to like pull yourself up places. And I just thought it felt fun. I'm not sure what the deal is with those other NPCs that are also running. I don't know if you're racing them. I didn't really.
I think they're the times of other people, aren't they? I thought that's what other people had done.
A lot of the names, though, I was reading, they weren't like typical weird usernames. They were like, Sophia Grace, Henry. They were like actual human names, which made me think they weren't real people.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because most people don't have like my name is Justin Davis. My username is not Justin Davis.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and like when you land, you can you have to like press a button right before you land, and he'll do a roll, and then you don't take a big drop as hard. And if you don't, I think you'll die. Like right there, he did the roll. Well, in VR, that might fuck some people up.
Yeah,
but I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And here's where he got the whip. Now this whip, you can break the pots. So it's sort of like Zelda. And then let me see. Is he going to use the whip to pull himself? That triggers that. Oh yeah. One thing I did change. So by default, you would just use the right stick to change where your little reticule is pointing. Well, I changed it to my head view, my HMD view. Yeah. So that made it way better. So I can just look where I want, the whip to crack.
You could try doing the 3-dot one, like the 3-dot aiming. Then you could aim with your hand, maybe even like.
With a profile?
No, if you just go into the options and then change it to 3-dot.
Oh, okay.
Aim like hand aiming, so that it's pointing where your hand is. You could literally like aim the whip with your hand rather than your head.
Okay, I've never actually even tried that setting.
It works. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this seemed fun to me. Then another one, Little Nightmares 2. So I already played Little Nightmares 1 all the way through
Yeah.
in
Great game.
UEVR, and I liked it a lot. So I went to Little Nightmares 2. I was reading people saying that they like this game a lot more than 1, but from what I've played like an hour and a half of this or so. I think I like 1 more so far.
Yeah, I think I prefer the first one.
Like this
'Cause I
one,
prefer the monster design and stuff.
yeah, I got to one bad guy, and he was wearing like a bag on his face, and he's shooting
Yeah.
at me with a shotgun. But prior to that, I felt like this was a lot easier. The puzzles, I think, were easier. It didn't seem as interesting to me.
There's definitely sections later that are a bit harder. I would definitely
Okay.
keep playing it.
Yeah. Now
the beginning bit.
Sorry, I'm running with that other kid now.
Oh, you've met the other new kid. Yeah, I found it gets better, and the more you play this second one, like it gets to a certain point where you just really want to see what happens at the end, because the end section is really good. It's a great game, but I do feel like the first game was stronger at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this one, I didn't think the beginning was as good. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff that happens later on in the game, so you should definitely keep playing it.
Okay, I will. Yes, I don't mean like it's bad. It was because people like were talking online about how great it is. This part was cool where you throw the pine cones at the bear traps.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff. The third one's going to be co-op as well, which I think could be fun. So there's going to be 2 people in this game. You've got an extra person that you meet at a certain point, but you don't control them. They're just there with you, and the story, as the story goes on, like things happen with them as well. But with the third one, they're actually going to have like 2-player co-op where me and you could play together, and I still need to play that. It Takes Two.
Yeah, did you ever figure out what the deal was?
Yeah, Predog's fixed it now, so we could actually play that. But that is a game that I think you'd really enjoy. We need to try and find time to play that, because it's a really, really good co-op platformer.
Really you're busy this weekend, aren't you?
Probably. I'm gonna definitely try and like make some time for you and Josh, though.
I do want to make time for me. Yay!
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna set some time aside.
Yay!
And we're gonna play Escape Simulator and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. All right. So where did I got? So I'm with I'm with that kid now. See, and like you can hold his hand. Is there any reason to hold his hand?
No, it's just cute.
Oh, that's all it is. All right, because sometimes I was like, all right, do I have to drag his ass along? At some points. All right. So here's the part where that dude was shooting at us. I got killed a lot there at that part because I didn't realize what I had to do.
Duck under the water and wait.
Yeah. So we got this part was strangely long where you're sitting on this door, floating in the water.
Yeah.
And I got to a part
transition. Yeah.
I got to a part where the game bugged out. Right here. So I jumped and dropped from a big height, and then my character just got stuck here, and I couldn't get to the main menu to like restart last checkpoint. Like if I press the left menu button, it would just bring up the Steam menu, not the games menu. I have that issue sometimes. I don't know if that ever it brings up Steam, but
you're gonna upload the rest of the game to your
No, I'm not gonna upload the rest because people barely watch this video, so fuck it.
Yeah, I just really wanted to see your reaction to some of the stuff that happened.
Oh,
I would love to have watched you play the first one actually, because I love some of the shit that happens towards the end of that. Even like towards the middle of it, it's just like I remember when I played it, I was like, "What the fuck?" Just certain things that happen in the game.
Is this even more crazy?
The ending, I think the ending's more crazy. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Everything that happens towards the end is really like it's really good.
Alright.
Really, you should definitely keep playing.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll record it.
I'd like to see your just watch your reaction to the end part, especially like towards the end. Like,
How many hours is this game?
don't know. Let me have a look at my Steam. I've played it twice actually.
Wow.
I played it once, like with Vorpex, but it wasn't very good. It wasn't very 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And then I played it again with the injector. So it's saying 12 hours for me, which means it's probably like 6. Yeah.
Well, I guess the second time you played it, you would have done it a lot faster, probably.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, but let's say 6 to 7 hours, something like that.
All right. Yeah, this part where he was chasing us, I got shot a lot. I'm not. Sometimes I got shot and I didn't understand why. I was like, why the hell didn't I? Like I thought I was safe. I don't know.
I think the main reason I don't like this game as much as the first is because it's way more trial and error. Like the first one,
man, more shit.
Yeah. There's a lot of sections in this where I felt there's one section where you've got like this pipe.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to kill these little dolls that are trying to kill you, and it feels like you've got to time it so perfect. And if you don't time it right, you die, instant death. It's just like those sections really pissed me off.
In the video, before I got to this guy, the only bad guy looking things I was seeing were dolls. And I said in the video, I have a friend who probably wouldn't like these dolls.
Yeah, I don't like dolls.
Yeah.
Dolls are creepy.
Yeah. All right.
You're going the wrong way there.
Yeah, I thought maybe I have to go back to the house. And then once I got to the house, I couldn't do anything there. So I was like, all right, let me go back. Yeah. So, all right. Now I'm going to give away another key. After the Fall Deluxe Edition. DIN6TL8CRZ 5NBTD. And on YouTube, you're seeing this visually. All three of these keys came from some humble bundle where, most of these bundles I already have the games, so
yeah,
they're just sitting there being wasted. All right, now we're going on to... Oh, wait. No. I have more crap to talk about. Luke Ross. So I paid for the Luke Ross Patreon again because there were some games I wanted to try. So let me turn off this key. All right, so Watchdogs. And he just recently announced that Watchdogs 2 is supported. So you can play Watchdogs, the original, in VR. So I played it. Yeah, so I played it third person. I don't think you can play this first person. This video is at Ian, what's his name?
Ian VR Corner, is it?
Yeah.
Eurogamer.
Yeah, he always does a video of the latest Luke Ross mod. And it's made me wonder. And then Luke Ross posts his video on his Patreon. It's made me wonder, are they like in cahoots or something? Is Ian getting paid? I don't know.
I don't think so, but I mean,
Okay.
you never know.
This one of the ones I tried was the best one. It worked really well. The HUD and everything was fine. And this game feels a lot like Grand Theft Auto 5. It came out around the same time. Maybe a little bit after Grand Theft Auto 5. And you can, drive around in the city and run people over. And the difference is in this game, you can hack. So like everywhere you go, there's always something you can hack. It's kind of annoying to me that like if you see a bunch of people, it's going to be like, hack. You want to hack this person? You want to hack this person? You hack this person? And it's just like there's so many pop-ups everywhere of all this hacking information. But here's some driving. I thought that was fun. And while you're driving, you can hack the traffic lights. You can hack the bridges. You can hack... Oh, he went into first person here. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't even try.
There you go.
If I play this again, that's what I'm going to do. It's like a revenge story. So this main guy, protagonist, is his niece got killed intentionally by some bad guys, and I assume you're gonna kill them all.
Yeah.
Oh,
Makes
wait,
sense.
did you play this?
No, I've not played it. But that's
So
how it always goes, isn't it?
yeah, so you can hack people, hack their phones, and then like all of a sudden, like, oh, you took $300 from their bank account, so you're a criminal, basically. Also,
Yeah.
so then I also tried Horizon Forbidden West, and this one,
Ooh.
like, one thing I was struck by was like the detail on Aloy. Like, that was just a cutscene there, but when you're controlling her, the detail on her is amazing. It's like the most usually when you're in a game and you're controlling the person in real time, they're not that detailed. But she's like super detailed, and since you're in VR, you can get up close to her and like look around and like look at all the bags and shit hanging on her and her hair and everything. And it was like,
Yeah.
wow. But I'm using a 4090 and a 7000 X3D, and the performance could be better, but I think I had it pretty maxed out. I didn't get a chance to try lowering it. The big issue with this is the HUD. Like, the HUD telling me everything I need to do and where I need to go, it was outside of my view. And I went into the mod menu, and there was settings where a slider for the HUD, and if you slide it around, it doesn't change anything. Well, online it said, well, you need to change the resolution that's set in the mod, and then it'll fix the HUD. Well, I tried that, and it still didn't fix the HUD. I put a post on Luke Ross's Patreon, and I think the guy that he's hired to respond to people for him, he said he'll look into it, but he hasn't told me a fix yet. So it's pretty much unplayable. This type of game is pretty unplayable if you can't see the HUD, like, telling you what the next thing you need to do is.
Yeah.
So I've given up on it for now. Then I played Uncharted. So it's Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy in the same game. I beat Uncharted 4. Those legs are funny. I beat Uncharted 4 on PS4. So what I'd really like to do is play this Lost Legacy game. And I heard from Virtual Strangers, they played this and they liked it a lot. But again, I had the HUD issue. Like, even on the title screen and going through the menus, I couldn't even see the menus. And I kept messing with the HUD slider and messing with the resolution. I couldn't see any of it. And then that same guy responded that, like, yeah, there's not much we can do about Uncharted. So I don't know if you have to memorize this, like, on flat, what you have to do to get through the main. Because, like, it'll be like, you got to press start, then you're at the main menu. Then you got to, like, choose which game you want to play. Then you got to choose this save slot. And then you got to choose, and without seeing it, I couldn't get the game to start because I had no idea what I was selecting. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just memorize the sequence to get the game started. But then maybe in the game again, maybe I won't be able to see the game's HUD. Like in this video, that if you're watching on YouTube, you're not seeing any HUD. So I don't know if
I don't think
Ian
is
seeing the HUD.
I don't think you need much in this game though. Like the HUD's not as important.
Okay.
But yeah, I played the fourth one with Vorpex and like not like proper 3D or anything. But I love the game though. It's one of my favorite games. Uncharted 4 is like such a good game. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I played it. So
Yeah,
long ago,
on...
I beat it, and I don't even remember it. I remember like driving a Jeep or something that was really cool.
Yeah, well, the Lost Legacy's got this Jeep in it. There's a lot. The thing is, when you go from the fourth game to the Lost Legacy, other than the starting area, which is what's on the video now, where you're in like India or somewhere, once you get to the forest section, it literally feels like you're playing the fourth game still, because you literally drive around in this Jeep, you go to different locations in the forest, you climb up different towers and stuff, you fight a few bad guys. It feels very much like just a repeat of the fourth game. So once I'd finished the fourth game, because the fourth game's quite long as well, it's like 15 plus hours. I just found myself not wanting to play this one. But if you've not played the fourth game for so long, I think you'll enjoy Lost Legacy actually.
If I can get the game to start, we'll see
Yeah.
if I try again. But I am going to turn off my Patreon. I just wanted to pay once, and then I'm going to turn it off because, I have had good luck with some games with Luke Ross, but most I don't, and it's just not worth it at this point with UEVR and everything. But see, the thing is, there are some games that you can only play with Luke Ross mod, like like these Uncharted games and these Horizon Zero Dawn games, and like what else? Ghost of Tsushima, you can play that. Far Cry games, yeah. Like I have Far Cry games I bought that I need to try. Like I want to try Far Cry Primal. I never played that, and I want to try that in VR. So we'll see. All right, I think we're done with games, like games we played. So I'm going to upcoming games, and this actually just came out recently. On the 23rd for Quest only, Attack on Titan VR. I'm not interested. I'm sure you're not.
No.
But it's only $4.99 in early access.
Apparently it's not very good as well. It's like
I heard the opposite.
Did you? Oh.
So all that not very good stuff I was hearing before, but the recent stuff I've heard is that it is pretty good.
Ah.
So what you heard, was that like a while back?
It was all the people saying that it looks a bit uninteresting, and but I don't know. I've not really looked into it that much because it's not something that I'm that massively interested in anyway.
I don't understand the story at all. You have giant naked people that you're attacking while you fly through the air. I don't know.
Yeah, why are they naked?
I have no idea. So enough of that. Into the Radius just came out yesterday. Today's the 25th, so
it came out 2.
Into the Radius 2, and this says co-op. But the problem is, on sale, it's like $34. Early access, so the full price is $40. I am not going to buy this.
Not even with co-op?
No.
To be honest, it's one of those games that's like way too complicated for me.
Yeah.
My brain gets overwhelmed with the amount of stuff you have to do.
Yeah, I tried Into the Radius 1, and I didn't get it. And I probably should go back into it and try it again. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think I haven't watched anybody's video of it, but the video, of course, they're going to be all positive. But the video titles I've seen have been positive, and I think it has. Last I saw, it had like very positive on Steam. I don't know about now.
It looks like the same. It looks like the first game, but with co-op and some maybe a little bit better graphics. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Today, Wallace and Gromit DLC for Walkabout came out.
Oh, is that today?
That's today. Oh. And I don't know anything about Wallace and Gromit, but I'm sure you do because you're British.
Yep, I do.
And I guess Wallace likes golf, so it makes sense, right?
No.
Oh, he doesn't?
He likes cheese.
He likes cheese. And he's an inventor. He's an inventor, I read.
Yeah, he invents the dog. He's got the dog, which is like doesn't talk, but he's his assistant, and then he invents robots and all sorts of different inventions. So yeah, it's a cool series. Like there's some films that you can watch with the Wallace and Gromit films, which are quite good. Okay.
Now, also coming out today, Thrasher for Quest and Apple Vision Pro. I'm not interested in this. I don't know. It'll eventually come to Steam, I think.
Yeah, I think it's coming to Steam. It's got a Steam page. It looks kind of cool. It looks really. I thought you'd be interested with all the colors and everything, but it looks a bit like that Res game. What is it called?
I don't like Res at all.
Oh, do you not? Oh.
No, I never did. I never got the hype.
I've played it.
It's just too simplistic. It looks to me. It just looks like it's what the hell is Fruit Ninja? type. It just looks like that type of shit to me.
I don't know what the gameplay is though. I'm not 100% sure how
Like-
you're like.
You're dragging this dragon-looking thing through these orbs.
Oh, is that what you're doing? Okay.
Yeah, that's. And then there'll be some orbs, I guess, that are bad, and then there's some that are good, and you got to go through the good ones and not the bad ones. And then probably there gonna be enemies in the way. Like, like right there. Probably those spiky ones are, if you hit them, you die. So you got to avoid them. Maybe, okay, it looked like maybe if you do a circle around the bad ones, it kills them. Yeah, I'm into arcade games. You'd think maybe I would be into something like this. I don't know why. No, it doesn't appeal to me.
I think if it's cheap or like it goes on sale, I might pick it up. But it's not something I'm going to rush out and buy. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, if it's really cheap, I will. I bought Thumper. This is by the same developer, I think.
Yeah.
I got pretty far in Thumper, and I got to a point where it was just like too brutal. I think I was at some boss fight. It was just like, this is taking too fucking long.
Yeah, I thought Thumpers was overrated personally. It was just, I liked it, but then it was just the same thing over and over. Like the music was identical almost. Like they didn't really change up the levels and the environments and the music enough to keep it interesting. I didn't think. It just felt like they were just like the same thing, just slightly harder and a bit harder and a bit harder. So.
All right, next one. I don't know if you've heard of this. Hello, Cruel World, August 1st, PC and Quest. This is new to me. I don't know if this is like a puzzle game. It looks, and he has this stream chat. I guess that's part of the game.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing so. Yeah.
I mean, it looks like he
Maybe
had
he's a
okay.
streamer and yeah.
The gun. I don't know if the gun is just for puzzles. If there's going to be some sort of combat.
Oh.
I don't know.
Finding out now live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a puzzle game. By the looks of
Yeah.
it, but it looks kind of cool actually. It looks better than I expected.
Okay, there's something that's probably a bad guy.
Oh.
So yeah, there you go. All right. Tomb Explorer. This game I've heard about for a long time, and it's been delayed, and it says August 1st, PC. So we'll see if this comes out.
Yeah, this could be good.
Yeah. And after Asgard's Wrath 2, I don't know if people are going to want to play another game like this, but we'll see.
Yeah, this is more literally like a platformer rather than, it don't feel like it's just focused on combat.
Yeah.
Like visually it looks pretty good as well. It looks more like a actual PC game rather than a Quest game.
Yeah. I played the demo. There was a demo years ago, and it was okay. It was a little rough, but
yeah,
it wasn't bad.
Hoping they've improved it. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So
yeah,
I'm definitely interested. Oh yeah, it's got some combat. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Oh. That is.
Oh yeah, you saw. I did notice that. All right. The Burst comes out August 8th on PC and Quest. We both played the demo. I think you helped the devs with some.
Yeah, I did a playtest.
Yeah. So we both liked this.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, definitely like driving.
Yeah, it's the proper like story driven. It's not a roguelite or anything. It's you're going from point to point through different environments. You're shooting. You like parkour, like climbing and grappling, hooking around. It's like Stride, but better, I would say, kind of to me.
Yeah, the AI wasn't great, but it was better than Stride Fates.
Yeah, that was the main thing they needed to work on with the AI, I think.
Yeah. All right, Astro Hunters comes out on August 8th. This is like some sort of like extraction shooter, co-op type of thing. So you land on a planet, and I guess you fight aliens, and I think it might have said PvPvE.
All right.
Maybe. I guess, okay, they're getting components for modding, I guess. I don't know much else.
No, it looks okay. Looks like a Quest game, though. But
it sort of looks like they're trying to make something like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it's got a No Man's Sky aesthetic, like to the planets, isn't it?
There was some update recently that I still haven't gone back into No Man's Sky. I don't
Yeah, apparently they've improved the clouds, which is one of the big things I hated. Like even on max settings, the clouds were really like pixelated.
Oh, okay.
So like when you were flying up into the sky, it was
Yeah.
like, oh look, I'm flying into these pixelated clouds. But apparently they've made them look better now. So
I never even got far enough into that game to fly a ship. I was so unimpressed with the game.
you
I
should try
do.
it now with your new PC and everything.
Definitely should. You're right. All right. And then this one I put on here because I thought it looked interesting. Retronica comes out in August on Quest. I just think that this looks kind of cool.
Yeah, this looks cool.
Yeah. If you're actually freely controlling this flying motorcycle.
Yeah, you're basically flying through like a futuristic looking city, but it looks like you've got to go like dodge traffic basically along this road, road or whatever.
And you also get guns, so there's like combat while you're Oh
yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. So I don't know. Right now I think this is only Quest.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Then this is a game that we thought was only going to be PSVR 2, but now we found out Aces of Thunder will also come to PC in Q4.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't? Huh.
Oh.
Yeah, it's coming to PC. I was wondering actually why, because I posted it in your Discord, and then you didn't say anything about it, and I was like, I thought he'd actually care. Yeah.
I must have missed it.
Yeah. Oh, this video is like, I think it's extending.
Yeah, it's not in there.
Let me see if I can do like fit.
Is this isn't this one of those free to play things though, where you basically have to pay for every plane and?
I don't know.
It looks really good though. Like, visually.
Yeah. Aces of Thunder, is that something that there already is on PC?
Have a look. Aces of Thunder. Let's do some live research. Yeah, maybe it's it's a spin-off of the popular online game War Thunder.
Oh yeah, War Thunder.
War Thunder is is a free-to-play thing. I'm curious if this is going to be the same or.
I never played War Thunder. I never tried that.
It's like visually, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm interested in this actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a HOTUS? I think you do, right?
Somewhere probably.
Okay.
Storage maybe.
All right. What do you know? What the HOTUS to get is if I get one? Do you know like the specific model or anything?
I mean, I got the cheapest one, which was like a Thrustmaster something or other, but it's got like stick drift and shit. It's not very good. So.
Does it have a wire? Does it have a cable between the two?
Yeah, it's like a one you separate into like you can. It works okay, but I keep on getting drift on the stick. So. And I'm not into playing games enough to spend much more than that. That's the thing.
I'm not either. I want to try Star Wars Squadrons again.
I really like that game, but I keep getting to. I played a load more of it, and I got to a certain point where, for some reason, I play it, and it's really good, and then it just like I get to a point where like, oh yeah, I'm over this. I don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah.
And I never finish it. I don't know why.
Is it a section that's really hard that you just have to keep doing over? And
no, I've got past the point where I was before. It's just I just get bored with it because it is just the same thing. I think. But,
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Any other games you can think of coming out like in August or something? Or were there any new announcements that were interesting?
I mean, there was the Upload VR showcase, but there wasn't really anything there, was there?
I don't think so. In August, there's going to be that Jamie Feltham. What is it called? VR gaming showcase or something?
Has that even been announced? Oh, it has been announced.
Yeah, he announced it. It'll be August something. Yeah. There's a YouTube channel for it now.
Yeah, it's beginning. I can't remember when it is. It's before Gamescom. Gamescom was like the 19th, I think, of August. So I think maybe a week before that or something. But yeah, there's going to be some I know that at least one game that's getting announced, which
Oh, you know some
been
insider
working on.
shit.
Well, I'm working on the game, so
You're working on the game, huh?
yeah. So there's at least one game that I know that's getting announced that no one knows about yet. So hopefully there's
Yeah.
some more cool shit.
The channel is VR Games Showcase, August 15th, 9 a.m. Pacific, and I don't. So this is going to show games that, according to you, that nobody's ever heard about.
There's at least one game. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
about
at least
anything
one.
else.
All right. Okay. It says featuring massive new game announcements.
On Thursday,
I think I've got a
August
feeling that
15th,
people are
VR
losing interest in Upload VR's showcase because it's not very good.
How
Always
does this
just
guy?
crammed full of-
How does this guy Jamie? How does he like get more announcements, more info than like Upload? How does that work?
I think, like I said, because I remember last year the Upload VR showcase, that the volume was crap. You couldn't even hear the bloody. And don't forget, people have to pay to have the videos put into these showcases. It's not free. So imagine if you're a company and you pay like, I don't know, maybe a couple of grand or whatever much it is, and then it gets uploaded live and you can't even hear the trailer. So
do you think Jamie's not charging?
Oh, he's definitely charging because I know the game we're announcing, apparently it was quite expensive to showcase it there.
So he's just guaranteeing that you'll actually be able to hear your game.
I think he's obviously got a lot of connections in the industry, and he's managing to get people to agree to showcase the games at this event. And maybe his is a little bit better than Upload VR, and Upload VR's is terrible. So
yeah,
I'd be happy if they don't do that anymore.
I think he was working for HTC, maybe previously. He went from Upload maybe to HTC.
Yeah, he went to somewhere else as well.
Okay.
VR studio, but now he's done this. He's set up this on his own. Like, hopefully it works out. I think he's wanting to be like the Jeff Keighley of VR world.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Nope. That's it.
All right. I guess that's it. Thanks for watching and listening.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.